Speaking of Jason Lemkin, he took to the internet and was not impressed about a recent product.
Dude, he woke up this morning and chose violence.
Here's the story for folks. HubSpot, has been on a tear. I think they just had an event where they announced a bunch of new products and changes in the business. But one of them was a new AEO tool that's supposed to give you visibility in how you perform an AI search. And I think that their point with this product is like, there's a lot of AEO products out there. Many of them are fairly expensive. I think they wanted to make something that was easy to adopt for HubSpot users and that was affordable, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was baked. And so Jason Lemkin took to LinkedIn to say, okay, HubSpot has many great products. I'm not sure the new AEO tool that just dropped is one of them yet. I think it's like many AI tools that is maybe 60% as good as top AI point solutions. He even put screenshots of what it came back with, including basically 0% sentiment analysis. It had no recommendations for how to improve his content. He felt like, there was just really nothing in there for him. So what I thought was interesting there is just when we think about SaaS companies launching AI products, it is really tough because you want to launch quickly and get these in the hands of users and also like have an AI story. But the product also needs to be really good or you're going to get crushed for it.
The funniest part of this is if you go to the comments, he then posted a picture. It says recommendations, no recommendations just yet. So it's like you could picture him just getting more and more frustrated and like, I'm going to post one more picture because I still can't get anything. I think he makes a good point. And the way that I'm trying to think about traditional SaaS companies innovating and adding AI products, if it's only 60% is good, 70% is good, even 80% is good, you probably have to give it away for free. Like we saw that with Microsoft Teams versus Slack. If it is 80% is good and it's free, I think it can work. But I don't think many people would go out of their way to pay for Teams, right? Like the trick to a long life is to not use Microsoft Teams. And like for HubSpot here, what I don't know is if they're trying to use this as an additional module to monetize, or if it's supposed to strengthen the core offering and to keep their customers that they already have around retained over time.
I'm used to this world of like build an MVP. So like get something out there. Founders are always perfectionists, but they've got to get something in the hands of users to get feedback on it. But with AI, the top products have a ton of interest around. Like there's so many AI tourists or people that are feeling pressure to adopt a new AI tool. Like even my parents are like adopting new AI tools. And so you have this moment around launch with a ton of buzz and interest in the product. And if you launch and you get like thousands and thousands of signups on that first day, and then people don't have a great initial experience, you've just burned all of that effort. And then it's really hard to get any of those people to come back. And so I think if anything, I'm seeing companies like hold off a little bit on a GA or like a big launch and then go big once they're ready. But they know the product needs to be bulletproof when they launch.
It's fascinating how in the age of AI, on one hand, you hear you should innovate as fast as possible. You should continually release things. Like Anthropic drops a new plugin like every other week. I think the difference is they're usually fully baked and they're really good, but the pace of velocity there is crazy. With some of these traditional SaaS companies, I think what you're saying is you have to come correct with something that's fully done. You only have so many chips with your customers to say like, we're legit now. You better make it worth it.
Oh gosh. I mean, a lot of AEO tools launched well over a year ago.
What are some other AEO tools that you know of?
So there's Profound, which has probably raised the most capital of all the vendors in the space. There's AirOps, and then more traditional SEO tools like Ahrefs have launched AEO tools. And then even more traditional SaaS companies like an Amplitude have launched AI visibility tracking as well. And so there's probably like 24 options if you wanted an AEO product. And so I think the time for an MVP has passed in this category. If you're going to be HubSpot and be a fast follow, the fast follow needs to probably be 90% as good at a cheaper cost and just baked into the workflow. It can't be 60% as good.
In this new world of AI, it brings up a good point with incumbents launching products. How much of it do you think hinges on just undercutting the newer companies that are out there? Like we talked about this on a prior podcast, you can have a loss leader or sell for significantly less if you have a larger platform to sell to versus the AI native companies that just have this one thing, it's kick ass, and they're going to charge you a decent amount for it. How important is it just to beat them on price versus you think like the feature functionality being 90% or 110% is good?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think it varies by category, but in this category right now, AI discovery is becoming one of the top sources that people are discovering brands. And so there's a lot of companies we're talking to that tell me, hey, now 10, even 20% of their signups or of their demos come from a ChatGPT or a Claude. And you don't necessarily see these as direct, like they clicked on a link and then they ended up on your site. A lot of times it's more they asked AI questions and then they came to your site later. So everyone's trying to figure out how do you tap into this? And there are very powerful tools to help you build emotion around this. But many of those tools are fairly expensive, way more expensive than classic SEO tools.
I didn't realize that they were more expensive than SEO tools.
I think there's justification there because there's a new playbook being written here that's not just like, hey, how do we get our links to show up on the first page of Google? It's like, how do we get AI to talk about our brand within certain questions that come up? How do we get them to talk about the brand in the right way? How do we get them to update those mentions when we change our product or change our pricing? And even in the future, I believe agents are going to start buying, or at least they're going to play a bigger role in purchasing products, not just in the initial research phase. Instead of even just being like a small part of the buying journey, it actually can become the entire buying journey for certain companies. That is a much bigger value proposition than classic SEO. And so I think that these companies, for good ones that are really innovative, like there is pricing power to be had. But I think what HubSpot's trying to say is, a lot of companies don't have, an AEO expert on staff. They're not going to like build this as a core motion. They're like a cash-strapped SMB that wants some initial visibility and just some out-of-the-box help with this. So like, I think they're betting that there's going to be big brands that need all the bells and whistles, and then everyone else that just wants something turnkey, and they're going to try to be that solution for the lower end of the market. I've been writing my newsletter, Growth Unhinged, for exactly 5 years. When I went all in on it last year, I quickly decided it was time to make the switch to Beehive. Honestly, I wish I'd done it even sooner. Switching to Beehive was seamless, but the difference is real. Excellent deliverability, more customization with their AI website builder, built-in automations, and no 10% tax on my revenue. As a data nerd, I especially love Beehive's dashboards and built-in surveys. My open rates jumped from 35% to nearly 50% after switching to Beehive, and I'm not looking back. Beehive is built for people who actually take newsletters seriously. If you care about owning your audience, it's a no-brainer. Try Beehive for free by going to beehive.com/Kyle. That's BEEHIIV.com/KYLE. Use code Kyle30 for 30% off your first 3 months.